It finished 0-0 between Arsenal and Manchester United. There were some big chances for Cavani in particular, Janusz. Do you think United should have won this game?
Yes, I do. Obviously, chances. I thought overall they've been the better team in this game, although I got to give Arsenal a lot of credit because there were times, of course, I thought it was a wonderful game. Both sides looking for 3 points. I think both sides obviously are progressing, right? Whatever else we're going to say here, who should have done what, I think in terms of building the foundation, both managers are finding their feet. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer maybe in a better way. He's been in a job a little bit longer than Mikel Arteta, but I was pleased to see how they approached the game and how they played. But look, for Cavani, especially that one chance, the very first one from, I don't know, was 4 yards out. That's a sitter in his book or anybody's book. In the end, have to reach for that one just before the end of the game. But normally, I think if he's 100% fit, if he has his rhythm, he puts one, if not both, away. So you look at this, and neither side, I think, could have afforded to lose that game, to be fair. But I think Manchester United should have won it. And given the fact they lost to Sheffield United, now losing points here, and Manchester City on song, yeah, those could be costly points.
There's no question about Marcus Rashford's talent, but even Manchester United fans today are questioning his decision-making. What do you make of those criticisms?
I think it's right. I think he's one of those players that he can wow you in any given moment. And then you can see that sort of a lack of maturity a little bit. When I say maturity is, best strikers smell it, right? I mean, they don't have to get a lot of looks, but they just finish it and punish him. I don't want to compare him to Sterling, but remember, he faced the same accusations at first that he got himself in the right spots, but couldn't finish it. I think Rashford is a little bit different in that because he is just as much of a creator, but I think in the end, he's going to be a better finisher. So I can understand the criticism, but he's still very young. I still like what I see from him. And I think in time, just like this team, they'll mature into that. And, United fans may have to wait for that another season, I suppose.
United have failed to beat one of the big six since March 2020, although I think that was their fourth 0-0 draw against a big six side. Is that a concern for Solskjaer?
You want to win every game, and I think you are Manchester United, and it's always great for fans and for everybody else when you measure yourself up against the best. But I remember, I can't remember the year, but Sir Alex Ferguson won a title with similar results where, they've beaten everybody that they're supposed to beat, but couldn't really get the results against top teams. It doesn't really matter how you get there in the end. But again, I think this is that process that Manchester United are going through. Look, a couple months ago, none of us, including myself and just about everybody, felt that Manchester United are going to be where they are. Now, all of a sudden, you're in a position where, that title is still in the vicinity, right? However realistic, we don't know what's going to happen, but we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer fired 2 or 3 months ago, just about every weekend. So, look, it's a concern only because they're points. And at this stage of the season, they all matter, right? Look, I think he would have taken a win against Sheffield United last week and then a draw here, and nobody would have complained that they didn't beat a team from the top six. So it's important, but it's not crazy important as long as the maths are right at the end of the season.
Yeah, I suppose obviously there's the incredible away form of Manchester United. What's that now? 18 unbeaten in the Premier League away from home. Obviously, Arteta's turned it around with Arsenal as well. So I suppose on the flip side, you could give a nod to both managers, as you kind of have alluded to when you've been talking here, Janusz.
Yeah, as everyone, there was a time that you worried about Arsenal. Look, they're in a position that they're not used to, right? But they're moving on up a little bit, right? A couple of weeks ago, they were 15th. Now they're top 10 team. I think they've had their chances. They were very, very unfortunate. Look, their best chances really today, when you looked with the amount of possession Manchester United have had in this game, were on the break. Well, you plan on the break. You don't have Aubameyang. Bukayo Saka with his hip, that was a little bit of a surprise to all of us, not even in the squad. Kieran Tierney, who was very important in that, even though it's a left back, but he always likes to attack and obviously very often capable of starting this counter. So those are three key players missing when you're going to play like that, right? Even you know, if it wasn't on a counter, they're key players as well. Hopefully Lacazette is going to be okay, because if he's not, you know, that just adds to the problems. And I thought at times they played even. They had their own chances. Willian, of course, right after halftime when he came in for Martinelli, had that shot blocked by Wan-Bissaka, and Lacazette, that, oh my goodness, he had everything beaten by the crossbar on that free kick. So they had their looks. Smith Rowe, again, glimpses of how good he can be. Filed that under Janusz Michallik. You know, I always give you that one player that I like a lot about this young player. Today, he was kind of up and down, but I still seen enough that if he, you know, in time, I think he may be one of those players that we talk about every match in superlatives.
And what about Martin Odegaard? Because he came on for his Arsenal debut today. Do you think that could be the right fit for him?
We'll see. He's going to be fighting for that spot against two youngsters. Smith Rowe obviously had a tremendous season for Sociedad last season, surplus the requirements at Real Madrid, although after Real Madrid lost today, makes you wonder sometimes. Let's give him time. We only saw a few minutes of him today, not enough sample for me to even say anything about him, but talented enough, and you and I have watched him in La Liga, so he certainly has talent.
Yeah, a game today that was perhaps better to watch than the scoreline suggested. It finished 0-0 and it's a point apiece for Arsenal and Manchester United.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.